So once again, just really grateful to be able to share this time with you all and continue this exploration of the practice of mindfulness and meditation. It's the self-exploration that lets us get to know ourselves a little better, what causes stress, what causes ease, and we'll naturally incline towards ease once we actually notice these things. That's why we have to keep practicing. But grateful to be with you again today. And we'll start, as we often do, just with a brief grounding meditation. So just taking your meditation seat, whatever that is like. It might be sitting up, might be reclining, might be lying down, might be standing. But you want to be in a posture that allows you to feel supported from the base, whether that's your feet or your hips or whatever, and feeling supported, but also inviting the spine to be long, which allows the mind to be more alert. The long spine, any amount, invites alertness, but not rigidity. We want relaxation along with that. So the groundedness, the alertness of the spine, and the relaxation, all balancing those three forces. And we'll let the bell transition us to invite us to come inwards. So the bell is a transition from this process of arriving, logging in, getting set up. You're taking your posture. Maybe have your eyes closed, or if not, just have a soft gaze. Don't be looking around. This is your chance to come inwards and just check and see, how is it right now? How am I? So what's the mood, the general energy of the mind? Is it still spinning in the process of arriving, or maybe something had happened before? Or maybe it's feeling calm and at ease, or maybe slightly agitated about something, who knows what. Just noticing how the mind is and checking in to see how the body is. Does it feel relaxed, or is it holding a little bit of tension there? Is there restlessness? Does it still want to move around to find that right posture to be comfortable, which will never happen? So we just notice restlessness, just resting the awareness. This body's resting on the chair or the floor or whatever. So we can feel that support and let the mind just rest in the body. Awareness of the body. Just notice how it feels right now. And we can notice the attitude that we're bringing to this. Is it, now that we're in meditation, do we think we have to get somewhere? Is there kind of a leaning into it, or thinking we have to achieve something? Or can we come to it with an attitude of just curiosity, of caring, of kindness? This is our opportunity to be kind to ourselves, to put the world down for a while. Put down all the worries, the cares, the to-do list, the desires, and just coming inwards and just being present with kindness and curiosity. Noticing it's like this right now. And maybe we can just do a brief check-in with the body point by point to see how it is, starting with the head. Just noticing if there's any tension as we bring the awareness into the head. Do we notice any tension in the forehead or the eyes, or the cheeks or jaw? Is there some feeling of energy spinning around in the brain? Just not judging any of this, just noticing, just the head is like this. And moving down from the head, down into the back of the head and the neck, into the shoulders, just generally noticing how that area is. The base of the head, the neck, the shoulders. Is there relaxation or is there some tension? Is there something being held there? And what happens if we bring the awareness to this area? And maybe it shifts as we're observing. And moving from the neck and shoulders down through the arms, right and left arm, down through the wrists into the hands and fingers, noticing how that is. Is there any tension there, or is there just ease? Maybe a sense of groundedness of the hands resting on the legs or the belly. You can notice if the right and the left feel the same or not. Whatever we're noticing, these sensations, feeling of hot, cold, tingling. Trying not to judge if it's good or bad, just noticing it's like this and noticing maybe it changes as we're observing. This kind, compassionate curiosity. How is it right now in the hands, fingers? And moving back up the wrists, the arms, back up the shoulders, upper back, noticing how that is. Is that relaxed or tense? Can we invite just some not wanting to do, not holding the shoulders up to the ears, but just inviting relaxation, inviting ease in the upper back and shoulders. Down into the middle of the back, the lower back, noticing if there's any sensation there. Down into the hips. Maybe we feel the pressure of the support that we're resting on. Is there any tension in the hips or the thighs? And just resting the awareness there, not trying to change anything. And moving from the hips, thighs, down the knees, the calves, ankles, feet, just touching in all the way down, noticing how is it. Resting the awareness in the feet, maybe feeling the contact with the floor, or our shoes, or socks. Just noticing sensation in the feet. Is there relaxation or tension or no sensation? In any of these areas, maybe there's numbness, maybe there's nothing. We can notice that too. Just resting the awareness in the feet. And then moving back up through the legs, knees, the thighs, the hips. Are they the same or different? Moving up into the lower belly, noticing how it is there, any sensations or no sensation. Maybe we feel the breath rising and falling the abdomen, maybe not. The lower belly's like this, up into the middle of the chest, the upper chest. Noticing how that is. Again, the shoulders are there. Maybe we notice something there again. Up into the neck and the head, the nose and mouth. And we feel the breath moving in and out. Or not. Maybe we can take the awareness to the body breathing. Maybe we sense it in the nose and mouth, throat, down into the chest and belly, or maybe we just sense the body breathing, receiving the energy on the inhalation, releasing, letting go on the exhale. And just noticing the body breathing, however we perceive that. Whether it's a physical sensation or just an energetic sense. Body breathing in is like this, breathing out. And noticing as we're aware of that, does the awareness cause tension in the breathing? Sometimes that happens, and we can just notice that and just invite a relaxation. There's nothing to do in this breathing process, it's just happening. Can the mind just observe breathing with kindness, compassion, and curiosity, interest. So can the mind stay with this body breathing, or is it wandering off, thinking about something else? And if so, we can just notice that and re-invite it to come back to awareness in this body breathing. And this invitation is just, this whole exploration of the body is to notice where in the body the mind can feel at ease, maybe can rest the awareness there rather than constantly feeling like the mind has to do the thinking. There's all these other senses in this body that the mind can be aware of. And can we let go of thinking? Just come into this awareness of this body breathing, feeling supported. And if we can't let go of the thinking, we can just notice that too, and notice how that feels, the energy of it. So this exploration with curiosity and compassion. We practice this, getting to know ourselves better, this mind, this body. If we learn to be with this moment to moment, we can take this then into the outer world and how we experience things moment to moment, how we experience sensations, other beings, situations. And regrounding in this awareness, inviting ease and awareness moment to moment. This is the practice. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface again, this awareness of the body as a whole, of being, maybe opening the eyes, noticing being present together. And just checking in to see how it is right now versus how it was when you first logged on, signed in. And then letting that go and just being aware. So the idea I was trying to invite in that grounding meditation was this curiosity, kindness, compassion, this way of relating to whatever we're experiencing. Maybe we had body pain and it was hard to be just noticing what's going on and not having disliking whatever was going on, or maybe thoughts came up that we didn't like, and we can notice that too, notice how we related that. But through this practice, what we're trying to do is just notice what it is that we're paying attention to that leads to tension, what leads to ease, and inviting this way of being with compassion, kindness, curiosity, rather than our usual, as my one yoga teacher, what was it? It was loathing, loathing, resentment, and what I don't know were the other ones. this with these ways of being in the world of just not liking things or wanting them to be different. And there's so many opportunities to notice not wanting things to be a certain way, whether it's how our body is, how our mind is, how people are around us, what our situation is, how the world is. A lot of us are getting pushed around by that these days. And, how can we be with that in a way that we're not being pushed around by these forces? It doesn't mean that we're not, and you notice that there's nothing about shutting down. If we don't like it, well, then just pay attention to this and forget about everything else. This isn't a shutting down process. This isn't a dissociation. This is an opening process to learn to be with whatever's happening, noticing it, and then noticing, is there some way to just be with it and not add tension to whatever's happening, making a situation worse, more stressful. And this being with, it relates to the word compassion. So compassion, the actual derivation of it comes from Latin. Passion, as you might guess, it comes from, it has to do with feelings or emotions, right? These passions that we feel. So we have emotions that come up, reactions that the mind and body have to whatever is happening, good or bad. And the come part of it, C-O-M, means with. So can we be with these movements of the mind and body, these energies of emotion, of feeling? Can we be with it without being overwhelmed by it, without adding a story of this isn't acceptable and it has to change, and making it, the passions worse, making them heavier or more difficult than they already are? And there's lots of opportunities for this practice, right? Of being with whatever is stressful, that we want to be different, whether we want something or that we're going to get rid of something. How can we just be with it and not add more fuel to the fire of whatever is pushing us around? And so this is what we want to pay attention to, this possibility of compassion. And in one of my other sessions, we talked about compassion. And every time we discuss compassion, it always immediately goes to, well, I have compassion for so-and-so, so I want to straighten them out and fix it by telling them to do blah, 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 So compassion, whether it's ourselves or whether it's somebody else, usually when we think of compassion, we think not just of being with, but of like fixing it, like make this go away, And maybe there's some things that we can, move into a less stressful situation, whether it's our own or other people. But the world, can we fix the world? Can we fix everything in the world? Climate change, wars, dysfunction. If we take that on, we're adding a heaviness on that makes us feel helpless and the world is hopeless. And then we're immobilized and we can't do anything. So the idea with this practice is to learn to be with this emotion, this sensation of wanting things to be maybe different than they are, and can be with it, but not make it worse, and be calm enough and clear-headed enough and centered enough, then I would know if there is something that I can actually do, either for myself or for others, that would be of benefit, that would decrease the stress for myself. And sometimes just the self-compassion part is the hardest part because, we're willing to do stuff for other people, but we are less likely to take care of ourselves because that's selfish in our culture. But to be effective in helping others, we need to be grounded and centered and clear-headed in order to know what to do to help, to have clarity, to know what to do to help somebody else, if that really is our goal, to help other people. So that's why this is so important. And I can't tell you how many TED Talks and, podcasts and so forth that have talked about this thing of learning to be present with whatever is happening so that we can move in this world with more ease and also be more effective in helping ourselves and others. So that's what I'd like to focus on today, is this idea of being with whatever comes up during the meditation. And a lot of times in our meditation, we're judging the meditation on whether it was good or bad. If it was really calm, we say, oh, that was a really great meditation. But if there was a lot of mind chatter or stress going on, like it could be a good meditation because we start to see where the mind is driving us crazy, right? And we notice what the habits of the mind are that stress us out. And just that awareness of it, if we can pay attention to it, even if we're not calm, we're learning something all the time, and that's a benefit too. So just inviting you to notice that as we move into this next meditation. So I'll give some general instructions, probably not a ton of detail, but hopefully somewhere in that first meditation, especially if you're newish to meditation, you find something in the body that the mind can rest in and be relatively stable, be interested in, and not triggered by. And I'll make some invitation there too. And invite the mind to rest there. And then, of course, we see what happens. The mind's going to go do something else. And then we can notice that and just notice what happens. And again, can we just be with whatever comes up, be present with it, and not try to make it go away, but just notice it. And then if we don't add to it, it'll just move on its own, usually. But if we add a story to it, we'll stay and spin in the story. So can we just be with it, let it move, and then see what comes up next? So that's the general idea. We'll see what actually happens, right? So you can retake your meditation seat, whatever that is. Feeling grounded, upright, relaxed, closing the eyes if you're comfortable. And again, we'll let the bell transition us. So the bell invites us to let go of that theory, the words, the blah, 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 and come into our own body, our own experience, noticing how it is right here, right now. This mind is like this body's like this. And can we notice if we're not liking whatever it is? So right away we can notice, can we just be with this experience, however we're experiencing it? Or are we leaning into the next moment, wondering what's going to happen next? So can we just notice how it is, be with this? Maybe it feels boring. Maybe the mind's agitated and thinking and we're not liking that. Just being present. And then we set the intention to remain with this presence of what's happening moment to moment. The intention is to stay with that, with a meditation object. Maybe it's the breath, maybe it's somewhere in the body, maybe it's a phrase that you can rest your awareness in. And if nothing else, maybe if you don't have an object, just choose the breath, breathing in, breathing out. Intention to rest the attention there. And can we just be with it with curiosity, with interest, kindness, moment to moment with our meditation object or whatever else comes up. So practicing in this way, setting the intention to be with the meditation object. Moment to moment, it's like this. Noticing still, if we're still present with our meditation object, or if the mind's wandered off. We'll just notice what it's paying attention to, how that feels in the mood of the mind and the body. Not trying to push away, just be with it. And then just invite the awareness to come back to our meditation object. Invitation. Can I stay interested in this moment to moment? Being with it. Noticing if the mind is still with the meditation object, just observing. Or if it's wandered off, something else is happening, a sensation, a thought, worry, a plan, or maybe sleepiness. We can just notice this. We don't have to push it away. We don't have to make it different. Just notice how that feels, whatever it is, in the mind, the body. And then re-invite the mind to just go back to being aware of meditation object, moment to moment. This caring attention, curiosity, how is it right now? In this moment, the next moment. Being with compassion. Is the mind still present with the meditation object, moment to moment, or doing something else? Sensation, sounds, thoughts. Especially if it's gotten caught in something, wanting something to be different, wanting to fix something. We can notice that, notice how that feels. Maybe even wondering if we're doing this right. We can notice doubt and not wanting that. Just notice how it feels and invite an open-heartedness, a presence. Just, it's like this right now. I'll just be with this, whatever it is. And then re-invite the mind to come back to the meditation object to see if it can rest there. Moment to moment. Just presence with this. Checking in again to see what the mind's paying attention to. Is it still present with the object? And maybe if it is, maybe there's some ease, some quiet, some calm, and maybe even a little bit of boredom. Or even if it's not with the object, maybe there's just boredom, wanting there to be something else happening. Can we just be with this moment to moment experience, the body breathing, sensations in the body, whatever we've chosen as our object? Can we just be with this it's boring, or maybe there's a sensation we don't like and we want that to go away. Can we be with it as long as it's not going to cause harm? Or this thought that won't go away, can we just be with that thought, not add fuel? And then invite coming back to the meditation object. Whatever you're with, can you just be with it and not add wanting, not wanting to this process? What is the mind paying attention to right now? Can you just be present with that, not needing to change or fix it, make something different? Can we just be present with awareness of this feeling, this thought, this presence? Just be there, not needing to change anything. Inviting calm, clarity, compassion, curiosity to what's happening in this very moment. Can we stay interested in this without adding a story of needing it to be different? Sometimes by relaxing the mind and inviting it to just be with, even if we're working on a problem, the solution just shows up by itself because the mind's relaxed and clear. But if your mind's in a frenzy, you can notice that too right now. The mind agitated is like this. Can I just be with that? Let it wear itself out. And noticing if we're trying to change it, if it adds tension. It's like this right now. In this moment, it's like this. Can we train in presence, being aware, being with something without having to change it? Calm, clarity, curiosity, patience, compassion. So the bell invites us to let go of that practice, and maybe even with the eyes still closed, just think about what the experience was. Probably your mind was in a number of different places, just noticing what you might have noticed. Notice if you were judging if it was a good meditation or not. And then letting that go. And coming back to being aware of being together. Yeah, so this practice, again, it's not about, the compassion isn't about trying to fix anything. It's also not about being a doormat. It's about training the mind to, rather than being pushed around by reactivity about not liking, it's learning to be with it with enough clarity to know, can I just be with this, stay present and not get pushed around by it, or having enough clarity to know if something needs to be done. And I kind of always in this one go back to my friend Viktor Frankl. He says, forces beyond your control could take away everything you possess except one thing, your freedom to choose how you'll respond to the situation. And this training of, this is an act of compassion, of the presence that allows us to know how to respond to a situation. So the forces of emotion don't take us over, don't overwhelm us, but we can learn to be steady and calm, and then know if there is something that we can do to change it, whether it's for ourselves or for other people. So it's an act of kindness to ourselves to decrease reactivity, and it's an act of kindness that we do for all beings that we're surrounded with. So hopefully there was something here that was helpful to you. As